Hi, how's it going? Rich from Elk Endeavors. Hey, tonight I wanted to talk to you about the money mindset and the importance of having a really healthy understanding of money and how you think about it, okay, in your head, and how that can impact the way that it comes to you and the way that you either make money or don't make money. And that's a really, really important part of any marketing, any business, any sales, anything that you're trying to do with your life. You have to be thinking correctly in terms of money, in terms of positivity, whatever it is that you're doing. But today I want to specifically talk about money. My name again is Rich. I'm with Elk Endeavors, affiliate marketing with Elk Endeavors. If you like what I have to say, please drop me a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and as always, give me a thumbs up. Will always be appreciated. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started. I've been reading a lot of books lately on money and money and things that have to do with money and how to invest and how to do all the different things that you need to do in order to be successful, in order to build your wealth and things like that. And I've realized that there's two aspects of money, right? There's the technical aspect that it seems like everybody knows, right? Everybody knows that there's technical stuff that has to go into it. And most people either fall into the category of like, that's too much for me to handle, I can't do that, or I want to find out more about that, and I'm going to learn. And then I guess there's three, because then there's the people that know it, and it seems like they know it almost innately, like they were born with the talent of creating money and using money. And so and there's lots of books. There's lots of books on saving and investing and maintaining and managing your money. You can find books on that everywhere. But they're really, really, they're not difficult to read, but those will do you no good. And this is what I've learned and realized. Those will do you no good if you don't have the emotional and psychological intelligence about money in order to make that successful, right? So you can read all the different, technical aspects and technical books about money and stocks and bonds and mutual funds and all that. But if you don't have the emotional expertise, the emotional intelligence about money, you'll never get anywhere, right? And so you have to have your mindset in check before you can even think about the technical aspects. In my opinion, like this is what I've learned over the last year and a half, and what I've learned about myself. And I'm not here, believe me, I am not a financial advisor by any means. I've just figured out through the last year of business that it takes a completely different mindset and understanding of money in order to build money, build wealth, build richness, right? So I can sort of advise people to learn their the emotional aspect of money. But I would never, never advise anyone on the technical aspects of money, and you'll sort of see why. I have my notes here, so I'm just looking. That's why I'm looking down. Like I said, you have to have your mindset in check, okay? And again, there's lots of impacts there. There's lots of books that talk about how your money mindset impacts your bank account and how it works with you or against you. And those things have to do with, investing and saving and all that kind of stuff. But you have to know why you're doing those things. And you have to know why you need to invest and you need to build passive income and what that's like to have that mindset of like, okay, it's not a matter of like, it is, a matter of saving a little to like build a lot today. But I'm going to go over 5 different things that really kind of help with this. And one of the things that I've realized, besides like there's the technical aspect of money, and then there's the emotional and psychological aspect of money, and mostly we work with the emotional and psychological aspects of money. So when you think about it, like people don't have money anymore, right? They don't carry money. I have a wallet. This is my wallet. I don't have any money in it. I have 2 cards, right? So you don't, and you work so hard and you do all these things to try to, make money, but ultimately you never actually see it. No one actually gives you a paycheck. It's deposited into your, into your bank account without you knowing. No one buys stuff. Stuff isn't bought with cash, especially now with the virus. People are in their houses and they're using their cards to pay for stuff on Amazon and order things. So there's this sense of like the idea that we work so hard and it's this physical thing. It's not. It's just an idea, as they say. And this is something that I've learned over the last year, and I wanted to impart that to you because I believe that that you need to know. People need to know this. You need to know this because my life changed when I figured this out, or when I didn't figure it out. I was taught it. So now it's my job to make sure I'm imparting it to you. So there's like I said, there's lots of books about how money is impacted by your psychological and emotional, understanding, but there's no books about how to spend money, right? You have to think about, like, this is a pretty big realization, was that, like, there's no book that tells you how to spend money, right? It's all about investing money. When you invest money, you don't spend it, you put it towards something that can build, right? Whether you invest in a course that helps you, that's what I've done, or whether you invest your money to help you make passive income, but you're investing money. There's no books written about how to spend money. I wouldn't imagine. I didn't do any research on that, but I'm just kind of imagining that. But, like, that's where the magazines come in, right? Magazines are there to help you spend money, but not invested in, not to save it, and not to understand your psychological and emotional frame about money. So these are the top 5 things that I was thinking about that I wanted to kind of share with you. That I've learned and that have impacted me greatly over the last year. So the first one is having an abundance mindset, right? You're constantly, instead of a poverty mindset where you're in a lack mode and you're constantly thinking about what you don't have, when you're in an abundance mindset, you're very thankful and gracious for what you do have. And that's a really big deal, because when you're in a positive mindset and an abundance mindset, when you think abundantly, you attract abundance. And when if you think of poverty, you build that into your life, right? And most people, that's where they are, right? Because that's how we've been brought up and thought through, or how society works, is that you don't, you have to save a lot of money in order to, like, just make it through. And when you have an abundance mindset, you're just going over the top and trying to find ways to make your abundance even more, right? So that's a mindset you have to kind of think about and really work toward getting to the abundance mindset. There's a balance in money, and these things I've learned from a couple of books lately. Specifically, there's a book called Happy Money, and then a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. So these are not things that I've thought of, as things that I've heard over the last year, and then also and interestingly, almost everybody that I've learned from, they all say the same things. It's not like they have this different theory. It's all the same stuff. It's just a matter of, like, how they say it and what message gets through. So anyway, so number 2 is the balance of money, right? And so people talk about that, the idea of tithing and having, giving 10% of your income away. I never really understood that, and it was sort of like a religious thing, and I didn't really, want to do that. But then, we start about thinking about the money mindset, and when you tithe, when you give up, not give up, but you offer 10% of your earnings to charity, to a church, to whatever organization you want to help. You also need to balance that out by spending some money on yourself and by enjoying the money, right? If the idea is not to, like, save your money until you're 65 or 70 and then start spending it, and then people, you don't know what's going to happen when you're 65 or 70, right? You could turn 70, retire, and then the next thing you know, you're done. and next thing, your kids are getting all the money. You want to be able to spend it as you go, and spend a little bit of in such a way that's responsible, but you have to be able to balance those two. So when you're saving, you want to make sure that you have money that you can spend and enjoy during your own lifetime and with your family or whoever, and then also giving away, offering to charity, offering to church, whatever your thing happens to be. But you can't, you have to do both, right? You can't give it all away, and you can't just save it and not you can't hoard it, because the more you try to, the more it's like sand. The more you try to hold on to it, the more it kind of disappears. The tighter grip you have on it, the more it leaks out of your hands. So that's an important one. You have to appreciate your money, right? Like if you think about, like, when you receive money, be thankful, right? Even if it's something that comes in every 2 weeks, if you have a salaried paycheck, be thankful that you got it, right? And be, gracious toward it. And that's something that I've started doing is sort of under my breath. I'm not at a point where I can go to a convenience store and say thank you to my $2.35, 35 cents. But I do think, like, thank you very much for being able to bring this to me. And that's a really important piece as well. T. Harv Eker in Secrets of the Millionaire Mind talks about how you treat your money like soldiers. Treat your money like as though each dollar has a job, and that job is to make you more money. So I love that analogy. Oh, and then be willing to offer money when you've received a service. Be ready to offer money for that service, right? And don't be thinking about money as something that you sort of nickel and dime people with, right? If you're looking for a financial advisor, you want to pay that person, right? You want to find someone that's expensive, because they're going to make you a lot of money. So if someone charges you 2%, and the normal fee is 1%, I don't honestly know. But the 2% guy or woman is probably better than the 1% person, right? But ultimately, they're going to be making 2% of like a lot more money than the 1% because of what they know, right? So people who charge well for their services have earned that ability, right? And that's a really important thing. And then finally, the last one is that you need to think bigger, okay? And this is something that I found. I remember being at Seneca Lake with my wife and talking about just sitting out there on the dock and thinking like, oh man, the lake. I love being at the lake, and I just looked at her and I was like, we have to think bigger. And this was like 12, 15 years ago, but I didn't really take that into account, but it was really true. Like, we have to think bigger. We're thinking about, making sure we can pay the electric bill and the gas bill and whatnot. And like, meanwhile, there's all these people that have boats and houses on the lake and, whatnot. And it was just one of those things where it was like, we have to kind of like think bigger. And so now 15 years later, I'm finally there where I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking way over the top, and I'm not making any making ends meet. That was my last video. You can go back to that. I'll link that in the description below above. But you're not looking to make ends meet. You're looking to far overreach the ends, so that you can actually enjoy yourself instead of trying to survive and trying to be comfortable. You want to thrive. So that's why I wanted to talk tonight. I hope that was interesting for you. I hope it was educational. The big thing is that the big thing I want people to know is that money. You need to understand the emotional, psychological elements of money. And if you're struggling with money, it's because of what's going on in your head. Because people are taught and brought up to believe that there's a shortage and there's a lack, and that money doesn't grow on trees, and all those different things that you've been told. They're not true. They're simply not true. And so you have to kind of change your mindset. And that's probably the most difficult thing for someone who's starting out in business, is that you have to change your mindset about it, because if you don't, you'll never be able to look into the technical aspects and start worrying about that stuff. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I hope that was helpful. My name is Rich again from Elk Endeavors. And if you like what I had to say, please drop me a comment below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you're getting value from it. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Have a great day.